Hi, this is Pat with Sew 406 coming to you from my studio in beautiful western Montana. I appreciate you being here today, and it's a new year and all the hubbub of the holidays behind us. So January, fresh start. A lot of people make New Year's resolutions for the new year, but I like to make a commitment. So this year I made the commitment to be more earth-friendly. So in line with that, today we're going to make some unpaper towels. So they're just very simple to do, and they will help you buy less paper towels and get less paper towels in the landfill. So this one is made with one layer of flannel and one layer of terry cloth. And then mostly what I do is with just two layers of flannel. And you could use quilting cotton, but I would definitely use terry cloth or flannel on at least one side. And so they're very easy. These start with a 12 by 12 square, and they will fit perfectly in a little basket in your kitchen or on your paper towel dispenser. So what I do is that I will just simply roll them up on an old paper towel thing. You can buy these firmer if you want, that they're more easily reusable. But I have some towels here, so they can do seasonal, kind of fallish here, and I have Christmas, and then just some fun prints. So what we do is just simply roll these up. So this paper towel roll is about 11 inches, so that works perfectly with a 12 by 12 square. You can do whatever size works for you. So I just roll them one after the other. I'm just going to put a few on here, but you'll see you can add as many as your paper towel dispenser will hold. So let's just do one more here. A lot of people will put snaps or Velcro on these, but I find it's not really necessary. They just come off real easily, and then the next one is right there ready for you. So that's, to me, the easiest way to go. So let's just get started here. So if I'm using yardage, you can do this out of scrap fabrics if you want, but if I'm using yardage, I will typically cut like a 12-inch strip or 12.5-inch strip, and then I put the two pieces right sides together. They hold together real nicely, and then I just go and take my 12-inch square and I lay that out and then just cut that. Again, you can use any size that you like, but I just find this works well because of the 11-inch roller on my paper towel holder. So there we go. This isn't an exact science, so feel free to make modifications as you need to, and if they don't quite line up, it's no big deal. Now they do stick together pretty well. Here I don't really even use pins on it. But now I'm going to go around and stitch all the way around on my sewing machine. So we'll go head over to the sewing machine and be right back here to the work table. Okay, so we are at the machine, and I am using my dual feed foot. If you don't have a dual feed on your machine, you can use a walking foot. If you don't have either of those, that's fine. It works just fine. You might want to use a stiletto or something to hold your pieces together. But they do hold together pretty well. I don't even pin them because they kind of have some static to them. So I am at 2.5 stitch length, and I have my regular foot on All right, so I like to sew in 3/8 or 1/2 inch seam because we're going to press that seam open partially when we get back to the table. So we're just going to go back stitch 1 or 2. Okay, when we get to the corner of whatever your seam allowance is from the other side, I turn my fabric just a little bit, take 1 stitch, and then go to the other side. Doing that stitch is really going to help when we turn our corners. Our points are going to come out nice and sharp. Okay, I'm going to turn 1 stitch. If they're not lining up exactly, it's no big deal. It'll all come out just fine. Just making sure there's no lumps under there. Now I'm going to turn 1 stitch. Okay, last corner. Okay, we're going to meet up with the other stitch. Now I do not leave an opening at this point. I find it better to go back and unstitch a little bit. And I'll show you that step next. So back to the work table. Okay, so we've sewn all the way around all 4 sides. The next thing that I like to do is trim my ends or corners. So I just trim close, not hitting the stitches though, of course. Okay, there we go. Now I go in and I press 1 side of the seam in. And I just find this really makes a nice thing when you turn it. You get a nice straight edge and you don't have to fuss so much with the edges trying to get them even. Okay, it's looking good. Just press 1 side back. As you can see, these aren't exact perfect seams. It's not like when we're quilting and we need to have those seams exactly 1/4 inch. Okay. Now, there we go. Now, whichever side I'm going to open to turn it, I like to press the other side over to make it easier when we turn it back after to stitch it closed. And just do this in a small area. Okay, now we're going to take our seam ripper and we're going to just open a few of the stitches here. So we're just going to go in and unpick just a couple of them. If I can find them, the white on white, you know. Okay, there we go. Okay, now I should be able to open that up a little bit. There we go. Now I take my seam ripper with the ball point down and I just rip along that seam a little bit till I've got the hole big enough to turn it. Seems like I always make a smaller hole than I need to. I don't know why, but just always seems to be because I don't hand stitch them. I just stitch them by machine. So, and it may continue to unstitch a little bit as you're doing this, but it's no big deal. Okay, so turn that, go in and do a rough pull out of my corners. Okay, Now, I'm going to take my point turner, purple thing, a bamboo skewer, chopstick, whatever you have to poke your corners out. I have this beautiful point turner my husband made me years ago, and I'm sure I'll have it for years to come yet. So then just poke it out without poking through. If you do poke through, just turn it around again and go and put, and just restitch it. No big deal. Okay. And all four of them. See how nice those corners come out when you've done that extra little stitch on there. They just really come out nice and neat. It gives you that little nice little point there. Okay, now we're just going to press this. And again, you can see that because we've done that pressing before we turned it, it's really easy now to get that to lay flat, to press it for the last time here. I've been doing this for a while, and it's really made a difference whenever I have to turn something, pressing that seam over. Okay, so now you see where we have our opening, how easy this is because I pre-pressed it, that it just lays flat. You don't have to mess with it and get it to turn under there. So I think that's the benefit of stitching all the way around and then unstitching after you press it. It works great. Okay, so we just have a couple little tiny threads to clean up here, and then we'll head back to the sewing machine to do our top stitching. And then we'll come right back to the work table with a finished project. Okay, we're back at the machine for our final top stitching. I have my stitch length set at 3.0, and I'm going to use my edge stitch foot. A lot of people call this a stitch in the ditch foot if you have your needle in this straight position, but I move my needle over to the left 4 clicks. If you don't have this foot for your machine, I highly recommend it. They are great, and they just keep a nice even stitch with your thing. Engage my dual feed. I like to start where I have my hole, so I just know that that's closed, and I don't have to worry about making sure I catch it later. Okay, so we're just gonna, just a quick little back stitch. Turn the corner. Back stitch, and there you go. So you can see how beautiful that top stitching is there because I've got it on that edge stitch foot. It stays nice and even. Okay, back to the work table. Okay, so here we have our finished paper towel. I just do a little quick press on it, final press there, and there you have it. How cool is that? So this will go in the washer dryer, no problem. Mine never really need to be ironed after they've been washed and dried. So it's a great project, and you can see I do them in bulk. I just cut a bunch of them. Sometimes I'll cut it at night, and then the next morning I get busy on them. I can do, dozens of them in a day. If you have 2 yards of contrasting fabric, like if you're doing like this, I like to buy 2 1/4 yards because I'll wash my fabrics first. But with 2 1/4 yards or 2 yards after it's shrunk, you can typically get about 9 on paper towels. So very economical and a quick, fun project. Thank you for coming to sew with me here today. I appreciate you and have a grand and glorious day.